I'm Carl Sandoval.
I'm Josh Wack.
And I'm Neil Tillman.
Welcome to the Squawk, hosted by the Pigeon. We're going to break down on today's show the Moss to the Titans, and then we're going to have Jack Anderson from Skins Nation blog breaking down what went on in Washington with Donovan McNabb's benching. Then we're going to run down some quick picks. Before then, we'll be talking about the game of the week, Miami Dolphins at Baltimore Ravens. But first, we got to cover this Randy Moss going to the Tennessee Titans after being put on waiver from the Vikings. Neil, tell me, is Randy Moss to the Tennessee Titans, is that a good fit?
Well, the Tennessee Titans need to do something, and we saw their deep threat, Kenny Britt, go down with a hamstring injury that, hamstrings can be pretty severe at times, and so they don't know where they're going to go with that. And Randy Moss brings in another element like Kenny Britt. He's a tall, fast wide receiver that can go up top. Now, Kenny Britt actually can go over the middle, which is something that Randy Moss refuses to do. So we're going to see if the Titans can keep winning and Randy Moss can keep catching balls deep, then it's going to be a good fit. Oof. But if they're able to cover Moss deep, they by every team that Tennessee plays, if they're able to cover Moss deep and stop the run, then they're going to be in trouble. But they basically bring Randy Moss in, so that way a safety can't be brought up into the box.
And so Chris Johnson can have a little bit of free room.
Yeah, can wiggle around a little bit.
Wow, what do you think? A good fit?
I think for the Titans, it is. You look at...
I understand that he has locker room issues.
It's just true, but if you look at who the Titans have at wide receiver right now, and it's basically nobody, at least with Randy Moss in there, the secondaries of the teams that they're playing are going to have to respect the fact that this is Randy Moss. And if you look, Randy Moss tends to play better when teams are doing well. This Tennessee Titans team is doing good enough right now. They're in the fight for the AFC South. So I think he's going to come out and perform. That's yet to be seen. He's definitely spotty at best.
Right.
He's played great with the Vikings in the beginning when he was first with the Vikings back in the late 90s, early 2000s. He went to Oakland and was just disastrous. Went to the Patriots and was phenomenal there. And now he's with the Tennessee Titans. I think it's going to help their offense, even just with him on the field, whether he produces or not.
Now, Carlos, you don't think that Vince Young is accurate enough to get him the ball, do you?
No, I don't think he's going to be able to get the ball downfield to Randy Moss.
What do you think about the quarterback to wide receiver situation?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I really think Kerry Collins has to be the quarterback.
No, I disagree. If you watch...
Kerry Collins has to be the quarterback because Kerry Collins is a smarter quarterback. He's more accurate. Neil hates him because he's boring and doesn't throw to Kenny Britt. No, but I believe you have him on your fantasy team.
If you watched Vince Young last week, he did a number on this number one defense in the San Diego Chargers. Yes, they lost, but when he was in there, he was making some really good passes if you were watching. He's still maturing. But he showed a lot, and I think
he's showing promise. But for Randy Moss, they brought Randy Moss to win a Super Bowl.
He has a better arm to throw the long ball.
To give Chris Johnson the chance to run the middle.
No doubt.
Randy Moss has given up on plays time and time again. Yep. At what point is our defense going to say, why cover Randy Moss? He's just going to give up on the game.
If you do that, then you can give up a long touchdown.
Question. Who can throw the long ball more, Kerry Collins or Vince Young?
They both have an arm.
Vince Young is a little younger, and he's got juice in his arm. He throws a deep ball, and that's what he's able to do.
He's got
a powerful ball. He doesn't really have a good, accurate ball, so all the crossing and over the middle stuff, that's where Vince Young kind of misses receivers on anyhow. But we've seen Vince Young against the San Diego Chargers where they're throwing the ball pretty well because the Chargers weren't able to get any kind of pressure on them. They were expecting Vince Young to make his own mistakes, and he wasn't really making the mistakes against San Diego. Kerry Collins, you can send the guns off to Kerry Collins and force him into turnovers and force him into having to get rid of the ball quickly. But with Vince Young back there, teams are afraid Vince Young can break loose and he can start turning on his legs. And you don't want his legs to beat you. You'd rather see his arm beat you because that doesn't usually happen.
Exactly, and that's why Randy Moss won't be effective in Tennessee. There's no way, I think, Vince Young can consistently get the ball to Randy Moss downfield. He's just not accurate enough. And especially if you're going to have to end up playing elite teams that have great safeties and great cornerbacks that are able to at least somewhat discombobulate Randy Moss. the biggest beneficiary here is Chris Johnson, who's going to be able to get a little bit more space, a little bit more running room. But
if you avoid 3rd and 10s for Vince Young, then those passing downs, you're right, those are trouble downs for Vince Young. Passing downs that are 3rd and long.
Right.
But if you get into 3rd and shorts, those are the downs that are really difficult to stop the legs of Vince Young.
But I agree that Chris Johnson is going to benefit from this, but I do want to disagree with you on the fact that Vince Young isn't accurate with the long ball. I've watched a couple of his games this year, and he's been very accurate from what I've seen from him. I think he's improving, and I think it's shown this year. So I think it's going to be beneficial if Randy Moss puts out.
It should be noted.
If Moss puts out.
It should be noted that Randy Moss is a cancer to teams right now. Obviously to the Patriots, that's why they traded him. Obviously to the Vikings. Reports came out that Randy Moss wanted Brad Childress fired. Don't you guys, you got to factor that in here.
Who does it in Minnesota right now when Brad Childress fired? Chili's lost his team. That's a whole other thought. And for the Vikings to make a trade with the Patriots, early in the season, and give up a high draft pick next season for Randy Moss just to release him 4 weeks later, you're looking at a lot of problems in Minnesota. And if Chili doesn't turn things around right now, Chili's going to have to be looking for a new job next year, not Randy Moss.
Next up, we have Jack Anderson from SkinsTalk.com going to talk about the Donovan McNabb benching down in D.C. Jack, what's the consensus down there? Is this a good thing or a bad thing that Donovan McNabb was benched for Rex Grossman?
Well, from fans' perspective, they're not very happy. The team went out and spent multiple draft picks and a lot of time to get Donovan McNabb in here during the offseason. And now that McNabb is here, he hasn't performed as well as everyone was hoping. Obviously, there are some people who are unhappy with his performance today. But at the same time, there was no reason he should have been benched on Sunday against the Lions. Rex Grossman is not a viable option at quarterback whatsoever. And for some reason, Mike Shanahan felt that there needs to be a shakeup at the end of that game, and I don't think fans are happy with it, despite the fact that McNabb really has not had a great season.
Right.
I got a question for you, Jack. This is Josh Wack here. What do you think of the basically excuse of the day over between the Shanahans? It seems like every day some new excuse as to why they did it. What's your take on that?
Is it because he's black?
McNabb? No, I don't think so. I don't believe that's the case at all. McNabb has obviously struggled before in 2-minute offenses, and I don't think that the Shanahans have been very happy with his development so far. There's been rumors that they've been tweaking his mechanics. There's been, little subtle hints from Shanahan at press conferences that McNabb is just not understanding the offense. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think Shanahan just wants to win games. Unfortunately, he didn't really give himself much of an option aside from McNabb when he traded Jason Campbell away. Obviously, Campbell wanted to be a starter, and Shanahan didn't think he deserved that. But when all we can do is bring in Rex Grossman to fill in for Donovan, he made his own bet. He put all his chips in, and he thinks he can win now, and getting Donovan McNabb in here. And now that McNabb is here, he's left himself with no other option. He has to succeed with McNabb. Grossman is not an option.
Hey, Jack, it is Neil here, and looking at the Washington Redskins, is the quarterback seriously their biggest problem? Because you look at Ryan Terrain, he's filling in for Clinton Portis. He had a whopping 9 carries for 10 yards last game, and this is a team that got blown out of the water running the ball by the New York Giants. Really, is the quarterback really the problem? Because they're wide receivers. You got this 27-year-old rookie. Santana Moss is legit. I like him. But is it just the quarterback? Because the last series that McNabb was in, sorry, I'm carrying on here. Last series he was in, you get the holding call, you get sacks. What's going on with the whole offense? What's Kyle Shanahan's excuse for why his offense isn't doing bad? Is it poor on McNabb?
That's my main question, too. I don't see what Kyle Shanahan or Mike Shanahan was thinking when they benched Donovan. That last game, Donovan was sacked 6 times, and he was a human tackling dummy. You have absolutely no one good on the offensive line aside from Trent Williams. Jamal Brown, who the team traded for, his skills are just not the same since he suffered those injuries playing left tackle for the Saints. Now he's trying to learn right tackle here with the Redskins. He's not getting the job done. For some reason, the team refuses to dress Derek Docker, even though they're paying him about $3 million a season. And he's the best option at left guard. Shanahan thinks Corey Lichtensteiger is a better option at left guard, even though Lichtensteiger, he might fit the zone blocking scheme better, but he can't pass block, and again, especially against power front. And the Redskins get beaten off the ball and lose the battle in the trenches every week that they play a team with good interior defensive linemen because they're just, and when they do that, the rest of the team struggles. They're not ever in sync, and a big reason for that is because the linemen have not been consistent. Trent Williams has been the only solid player. Injuries are bothering him, so he hasn't been on the top of his game. And as for Terrain ran for back-to-back 100-yard games against Indianapolis and Chicago. Chicago had a top-5 run defense at that time, and they still have a solid run defense. And honestly, it's not so much Terrain, it's not so much McNabb. McNabb has missed some throws. It's the offensive line that won't let them get any sort of offensive flow or rhythm going, and that really stymies what they can do in terms of play calling.
All right, well, I guess the question then, Jack, is since they are battling for a playoff spot, I mean, they're still second place in the NFC East. Where do the Redskins go? Where do they go from here?
The good thing is that they are in good shape in the NFC. They're 2-0 in the division, 4-2 in the conference. But the bad thing is they have a tough schedule ahead. They have Tennessee and Philly coming up in the next 2 weeks. They also have 2 games against the Giants, another one against the Cowboys. You know, it is an NFC East game, so it should be tough. They have Jacksonville, Minnesota. They have some tough games coming up that they are going to need to find a way to pull out if they want to continue to contend. The NFC is weak, so obviously they have a chance to contend as they've been doing already this season. But the offensive line's got to play better. The defense is making things happen with timely turnovers. They're +8 in the turnover differential. They already have 19 takeaways this year. They only had 17 last year total. So, I mean, the defense is playing very well despite the fact that they're giving up a lot of yardage. They're giving the offense good field position. The special teams improved with Brandon Banks returning punts and kickoffs, and that's improving the field position as well. It's just a matter of can they start winning the battle in the line of scrimmage, which will help the offense because there isn't a lot of weapons to have. And honestly, without a good offensive line, he's really struggling.
Yeah, Banks is a little speedster, isn't he?
All right, last question for you, Jack. Who is the Week 10 QB then?
Excuse me?
Who's going to be the quarterback?
I'm coming out of the bye week.
Coming out of the bye.
Oh, it's going to be McNabb, no question about it. Shanahan has reiterated that multiple times. And I guess he just thought at the time he just was going to try to jumpstart the offense with Grossman. I don't agree with it, but he's using the practice every day, so I guess he knew what he was doing. And I would say you're without question going to be McNabb this week, and most likely barring injury every other week for the rest of the season.
Awesome. All right, that's Jack Anderson from SkinsTalk.com. Thanks for coming on the show, Jack.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks, guys.
I'm just going to sit over here and we're going to go ahead and talk about the game of the week. That's right, it's the Dolphins once again. And we got my guy, Chad Henne. Let me talk about Chad Henne for a second here. This guy has thrown 8 touchdowns in 8 games. Can you believe it? Do you believe in miracles? Yes. I mean, he's on pace to break the record. I mean, it's Chad Henne here, guys. He is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, please.
Talk about the game against Baltimore Ravens now, Carlos.
The Baltimore Ravens, they don't stand a chance. They're facing the enigma, the greatest player ever in Chad Henne. Why are they even showing up? I mean, Ray Lewis is sleeping with security guards at night because he's afraid of Chad Henne. Ray Lewis wears Chad Henne jerseys to sleep because Chad Henne is his hero. This is a blowout game. The Baltimore Ravens are going to forfeit into the first minute of the game. Oh my goodness. Okay, but seriously, here it is. The game of the week. Yeah. Carlos, go ahead because I know you've had to blast this.
Chad Henne's underrated. I'm going to say that. Chad Henne's underrated. That's first and foremost. Second of all, I think the Dolphins are going to come out of this game against the Ravens. They do have a better off. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. Chad Henne takes advantage of that. They also have the best secondary in the NFL. Statistically, no, but you can tell with
Statistically, probably not.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Vontae Davis is a stud
Best
back there.
running back punch. Ricky Williams, Ronnie Brown. Statistically, maybe not.
Either way, I think that ground game's going to dominate. So they're not going to dominate the Ravens, but they're going to have a great day. You're going to see You're gonna see Chad Henne not have as productive a day as he normally would, but he's gonna